Hey, let's talk exit strategy. Exit strategy. Banana peel. Bad exit strategy. There's a fly screen on the window. Now I've got banana peel all over my floor. That's bad planning. No deal. So how does this relate to acquiring a home loan, and why is it important to talk about exit strategies? Well, I'm going to give you an example of a 50-year-old applicant looking to get a $500,000 loan to purchase a home, that's looking to also retire at an age of 70 in 20 years' time, but have their loan term over 30 years. We're going to talk about that. Your first question, which would be a great question, would be, why don't you just get a 20-year loan term so that the loan expires at the same time when they retire? Look, if that's what the applicant can afford to do, keyword, afford, if that's what they can afford to do, then that's great. There's a very good chance that that's exactly what we would do. However, there's a couple of reasons why an applicant might still want a 30-year loan term, even though they're looking to retire in 20 years. The first thing would be cash flow. Maybe it's just their preference to have their minimum requirement to be as low as possible for their monthly repayments. Or maybe they can't actually afford to service the loan over 20 years with a higher monthly repayment. So to give you a little bit more context on that, a $500,000 loan at today's rates for an owner-occupied property over 30 years, the monthly repayment would be $3,000 a month. Over 20 years, the monthly requirement for the repayment would be $3,600 a month. So there's potential here that with the requirement of paying that higher repayment over 20 years, $3,600 a month, in conjunction with whatever that applicant's income is, maybe they can't actually afford to make that monthly repayment, which means they wouldn't be able to get the loan. Whereas over 30 years with a lower repayment, maybe that's the difference between getting the $500,000 loan and not getting the $500,000 loan. We'll move on from that and talk a little bit about how the exit strategy can be acceptable to a lender and why it's important for you as a client to consider it. So it's important for you to consider it because of the simple fact of, if you're 50, acquiring a $500,000 loan, in 20 years' time from now, your balance is going to be $270,000 at the age of 70 when you retire. So it is actually important for you guys to think, well, what are we going to do at that point in time when we've still got $270,000 left on our loan and we're no longer working? So I want you to consider that, but we also need to give a really good explanation to the lender as to what you're going to do if we want them to approve the loan. So two really common ones I'll give you. So firstly is we clear out the loan via downsizing your home. So maybe you're buying a home today for $2 million, and that's what the $500,000 that you're borrowing is for, to help you purchase that $2 million property. There's already $1.5 million worth of equity in that home. When you retire at 70 and your balance is $270,000 on your loan, you've actually got more like $1.7 million of equity. So you could sell your home, downsize into a 2-bedroom unit or a 1-bedroom unit, pretending that what you're actually buying right now is a home, like 3 or 4-bedroom home. You could downsize into a smaller property that's much cheaper. Maybe it's $1.2 million and you've still got more cash left over. That's a big tick and play on with most lenders. The other thing is maybe what you're buying is already a small property and you can't downsize out of it, or you don't want to. Whatever you're buying, you want to stay in it till the day you die. That's fine. But how are you going to get rid of that $270,000 when you retire and you're no longer working? Well, maybe you've got a lump sum that you could pay to clear out that loan out of your superannuation. If you've got a large enough balance in your superannuation, we can even project from today's superannuation balance what it would be in 20 years' time when you retire. And for some lenders, that would be acceptable, that we can make a lump sum repayment out of your super, clear out the loan, you no longer have a loan, and it's play on. So that's a little bit of an insight into the importance of discussing exit strategies when we're applying for a loan. There's two parts to it. It's important for you to consider it yourself and what your long-term plan is, so that you're comfortable with that. But as far as actually getting a loan approved, it is really important that we give an acceptable explanation to the lender as to what your exit strategy is going to be if the loan extends past your time of retirement. If you want to discuss it more, please feel free to click the link below in the description and book in a time to have a no obligation chat with me, Ryan from My Mortgage Matters. Bye.